If you're watching this video, you probably have some sort of money invested in the stock market. Now, unfortunately, if you're trading through a buy and hold method over the last few months, you are down quite a bit on your longer term portfolio, as the S&P and its components have dropped almost 20% in the last few months. So how exactly can we best weather this storm, aka make massive amounts of money, and what do we need to know in order to profit in this market? So what exactly do we need to know? What has been moving the market and ultimately motivating its direction over these last few weeks? Fed meetings, interest rate increases, and the monthly inflation numbers have been the main culprits causing this market to tank over the last few months. However, over these last 2 weeks, we've seen a major reversal in Fed policy. The chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, even said,
"Today, the FOMC raised our policy interest rate by 75 basis points, and we continue to anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate. We are moving our policy stance purposefully to a level that will be sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2%. In addition, we're continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet. Restoring price stability will likely require maintaining a restrictive stance of policy for some time."
Now you're probably wondering what part of his message was bullish and what part has been causing the market to rally over these last few weeks. And well, the answer is none of it. His messaging has been the same since the beginning of this tightening and will probably continue being negative or meeting expectations until the end of it. So what's the point of all this? The point is that in order to make money in this market, we need to be direction independent and we need to be able to make money on the way up and on the way down. When the market is pulling back or simply going sideways, this is how people continue to make massive profits and returns while others are waiting for better days. Now what I'm talking about is options trading. Now, it's no secret that options trading is very volatile and can multiply both your profits as well as your losses over time. However, for people who already trade stocks and are wondering how they can translate, 2 to 3% returns a day or a week into a more worthwhile 20 to 30%, this is really the path to success and what has been working for me over the last few months. Now I'm going to explain to you exactly how I trade and how I'm able to make 20 to 30% returns, sometimes in a single day, sometimes even in a single hour consistently. Now watching this video won't make you an expert, I can guarantee you that, but it will give you an idea of how some people consistently make a living on the stock market and continue making positive returns even when things are really not so bullish and not so obvious. Now moving over to the chart, I want to give you guys a very brief example of how I take my trades, exactly what I look for, and what mentality I have to have when I'm deciding to take a trade if some days I'm looking to the upside and some days I'm looking to the downside. And as you can imagine, it's very easy to fake yourself out and even doubt yourself during these times, so having a strong concrete trading plan is absolutely one of the most important things you can do. Now, as you can see, I'm on the daily chart here for Nike stock, and this is a massive company that anybody around the world can recognize, and as such, their market cap changes a lot every single day. As you can see, on Friday, we had a massive day on Nike, 6% to the upside, so that could have been a massive opportunity to trade, and a day like this on Nike can net you a return of over 250% on your options contracts, so that's the kind of potential that is available when you trade big names like Nike, and when you consistently identify good trades and good opportunities. Now, like I said, I'm on the daily chart here, and one of the first things I like to do in order to understand whether I'm looking to the upside or downside is set up some basic trend lines. Now, like I just explained, this is what people call trend lines, and it basically shows us a general idea of what the stock could be doing next. So as you guys have seen, every time it gets to the top of this pink line, it tends to sell off very strongly for the next few days, and when it gets to the bottom, it does the opposite. It shows a very good opportunity to buy at that moment. So as you guys can see, these trend lines show us an idea of what we could be doing during those days. Now granted, I don't trade Nike every single day, that would be absolutely crazy, but I only trade when there is opportunity available. So at a time like this, there's opportunity available. At a time like this, at a time like this, essentially when there is the most pressure on the stock to react, when it's at the top and bottom of the trend, that is when I look to take a trade. So for example, on Friday, I was able to take a trade on this breakout. I saw that the strength was looking bullish, so there is something that I do on the lower time frames, moving to the 2-minute or the 3-minute, which helps me identify on the day whether or not this will be the breakout, the sell-off, what's going to happen next. But in the grand scheme of things, I was able to identify this potential breakout, seeing on the chart that we were near the high pink line and potentially breaking out. So once we got that confirmation on Friday, now I'm looking to take trades to the upside on Nike, potentially knowing that this could be the bottom of whatever trend line is going to be forming next. So now that we've broken out, if this does start creating a trend like this, but to the upside, I'll set up my pink lines in the other direction and then again simply trade when it gets to the top and the bottom. That's when there's the most pressure on the stock and when we will get the biggest moves, so the most amount of profit potential is available. So again guys, this is a very brief explanation of how I do trade my options, why I trade options, what the potential is like on returns, and why you should really consider getting into it if you're already trading stocks, already making 1%, 2% a day or a week. This could be a great way to trade and change that to around 10, 20% or even more if you are a successful trader. Now I have some other videos coming out next week, and I even have previous videos on my channel trading options and explaining exactly how to do this stuff more in depth. But again guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, remember to subscribe down below. But again guys, I'm Alejandro and I'll see you guys next week.